Stress. It's something we all face. But what if I told you that the key to completely transforming your stress is hidden in a 2,000-year-old philosophy? And no, this isn't some ancient mystery reserved for monks and philosophers. It's practical. It's simple. And you can start using it today. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly how this ancient wisdom can erase your modern stress and give you an unshakable sense of calm. No matter what life throws at you, stick with me, because what you'll learn could change the way you live forever. Let me take you back to ancient Rome. Imagine gladiators preparing for battle, politicians dealing with betrayal, soldiers marching into war zones. Stressful, right? But here's the shocking part. Some of the calmest, most composed minds didn't break under these pressures. Why? Because they followed one timeless philosophy, Stoicism. And here's where it gets really interesting. The same Stoic principles that helped them survive the brutal world of ancient Rome can help you today, whether you're facing a mountain of emails, a personal crisis, or just the everyday grind. You see, stress hasn't changed. What's changed is how we react to it. To understand this, we have to go back. Way back. I'm talking about ancient Rome, 2,000 years ago. Imagine gladiators preparing for battle, politicians navigating betrayal, soldiers heading off to war, knowing they might never return. Stressful, right? Yet, some of the calmest, most composed people in that world didn't flinch under these pressures. They didn't break. And it wasn't because they were a superhuman. They followed a timeless philosophy, Stoicism. Now, here's the crazy part. These same principles that helped them survive the brutal, chaotic world of ancient Rome can help you today, whether you're feeling overwhelmed by deadlines at work, dealing with a relationship falling apart, or just trying to stay afloat in the constant noise of modern life. Stoicism offers a clear, simple path to peace. You see, stress hasn't changed much in the last 2 millennia, but what has changed is how we deal with it. Most of us today, well, we're not dealing with it too well. We're trying to control things that are way beyond our control. But here's where Stoicism shines. Let's take a step back and think about why we're stressed out all the time. Is it the never-ending to-do list? The constant notifications? Maybe it's the expectations of others that weigh heavily on you. If we're being honest, most of us are guilty of stressing over things we cannot control. Think about it. How many times have you worried about a meeting, or what someone else thinks of you, or even the outcome of a situation you have no power over? The Stoics called this a fundamental flaw in how we approach life, and they had a solution. Focus only on what you can control. Let go of the rest. This is one of the most profound lessons from Stoicism. Imagine how much energy you waste worrying about things beyond your control. Things like how other people react, whether that project will be perfect, or even what the future holds. The Stoics believed this was wasted energy that could be used more wisely if directed inward. Instead of trying to control everything around them, the Stoics focused on one thing: their own reactions. They understood that we can't control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. And once you embrace this mindset, you'll start to notice something incredible. Stress loses its grip. Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I was in a constant state of stress. Work was piling up. Notifications were pulling me in 100 different directions, and it felt like I was always one step behind. I was exhausted and overwhelmed. Every little thing felt like it could break me. That's when I stumbled upon Stoicism. At first I thought, how can a philosophy from 2,000 years ago help me now? But I was desperate for a change, so I started learning. I learned about Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who wrote down his Stoic thoughts in a journal that would later become known as Meditations. This was a man who had more responsibility than any of us could ever imagine, leading an empire, dealing with wars, betrayals, and personal tragedies. Yet in his writings, you don't see a man consumed by stress. You see calm, wisdom, and control. How? Because he practiced one of the core principles of Stoicism. He focused only on what he could control. The first time I applied this to my own life, the effect was almost immediate. I was stressing over a project at work, worried about how my team would react, how the outcome might impact my career. But then I stopped and asked myself one simple question. Is this something I can control? And just like that, I realized that I could only control my own actions. How I handled the project, how I communicated with my team. The rest? It wasn't up to me. And once I accepted that, it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. The project didn't feel so overwhelming anymore. I could focus on doing my best, without the stress of trying to manage outcomes beyond my control. This is where Stoicism becomes truly powerful. When you shift your mindset to focus only on what you can control. Your actions, your thoughts, your responses. You take back your power. And the stress, it fades. That's the magic of Stoicism. It's not about ignoring the problems or pretending life isn't hard. It's about facing challenges with a mindset that frees you from unnecessary suffering. But how do you do this consistently? Let me break it down with a technique the Stoics used. It's called the dichotomy of control. Here's how it works. In any situation, there are two categories. Things you can control and things you can't. Take a moment right now to think of a stressful situation you're dealing with. Now, ask yourself, which parts of this situation are under my control and which parts are not? For example, maybe you're worried about an upcoming presentation. You can control your preparation, your delivery, and how you handle yourself. But you can't control how others will react. Once you mentally separate these two areas, focus all your energy on what you can control. Prepare, practice, and give your best performance. The rest, let it go. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, some things are up to us, and some things are not. Now, here's another game-changing Stoic exercise. Negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive at first, but stay with me. The Stoics practiced imagining the worst-case scenario. Sounds grim, right? But it's not about dwelling on negativity. It's about mentally preparing yourself for challenges, so when difficulties arise, they don't shake you as much. For instance, instead of fearing that something bad might happen, the Stoics would imagine it happening in vivid detail. They'd ask themselves, what if I lost my job tomorrow? What if this project completely failed? By mentally rehearsing these worst-case scenarios, they were able to detach from fear and stress. When you've already prepared for the worst, you're no longer afraid of it. It gives you a kind of mental armor. Think of it like this. Most of us walk around fearing the unknown, stressing over what might happen. But when you've mentally walked through those fears, you take away their power. Suddenly, that big presentation doesn't seem so scary, because you've already imagined the worst, and you know you'll be okay, no matter what happens. One more Stoic practice that I think you'll love is something Marcus Aurelius did every morning. It's called morning reflection. Before starting his day, Marcus would remind himself that he would face difficult people, challenging situations, and unexpected obstacles. By expecting life to be difficult, he wasn't caught off guard when things didn't go his way. Instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? He approached challenges with calm, ready to face whatever came his way. You can do this too. Every morning, take just a minute to reflect on the day ahead. Expect challenges. Prepare your mind to handle them calmly and wisely. It's a small shift, but it can make a huge difference in how you respond to stress throughout the day. At its core, Stoicism teaches us that life is unpredictable. Bad things will happen. We can't control everything, but we can control our mindset, our actions, and how we respond. And once you embrace this, you'll notice something incredible. Stress no longer controls you. You control your life. So, here's my challenge for you. Over the next 24 hours, every time you feel stress creeping in, stop and ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, let it go. Focus only on what's within your control, and watch how your relationship with stress starts to shift. If you have watched up to this point, please leave a comment writing, "Stay Stoic." This way we will know that you followed the video to the end. Also, I would like to hear your opinion about the content. I look forward to your response. Did this resonate with you? If you are ready to take control of your stress and bring more stoic calm into your life, hit that subscribe button and share this video with someone who needs it. Let's bring more stoic wisdom into the world together. See you soon.